Okay, hello, Tyler Bryden here. I hope everything is going well. Another day, another video about OpenAI. Here we are. And this one, shout out to Ali. Ali, the comments are talking about these Google alerts paying off. She's quick on the draw on this AI news. Great person to follow if you're interested in this stuff. Just an awesome person doing some great work with experience and history in startups and AI if you're interested in this. So she talks about OpenAI announcing a new ChatGPT business subscription for professionals who need more control over their data. The new subscription is going to be released in a couple months, so a little bit of a foreshadowing announcement here. And I did a quick search online and still pretty limited sources. So I'm guessing even as I did my first search and created this video, we're going to start to see some more. And I took a look at some of the articles, some of the announcements, even seemingly before OpenAI really publicly announces it, and some interesting things to consider, some interesting consequences for this, and overall an exciting innovation from OpenAI, and specifically in terms of ChatGPT, and then how this will evolve interaction with businesses. And there's been a lot, like this has been obviously a meteoric rise of ChatGPT. 100 million active users, at least. It's the fastest growing consumer application ever. We've got controversy with that, controversy from an ethics perspective, from a privacy perspective. We've seen Italy ban access to ChatGPT. We're already seeing discussions about other countries and areas banning this and concerns about data. And while this rise has been super exponential, pretty damn impressive, there are some challenges. And it seems like with this release with ChatGPT Business, it's a new tier for enterprises. And it's really seemingly harbored on this idea of new options for control. Now, if you are using the API, there are already some terms of service where your data isn't being used to publicly train those models. ChatGPT Business will now follow those API data usage policies. As I mentioned, this release is not yet live yet, so there might be some things that change. They seem pretty receptive to feedback and what people are discussing online. And overall, it obviously opens up even more monetization opportunities for OpenAI. One of the famous tweets from Sam Altman is that ChatGPT's operating expenses are eye-watering, amounting to a few cents per chat in total compute costs. By introducing this business functionality, this business offering, it allows, I'm guessing, team pricing. It looks like there might be folders and more organization of data within ChatGPT and the conversations that you've had. It looks like as organizations, more and more organizations adopt it, we've already seen issues with Samsung and things like this, that those challenges around privacy, those controversies need to be tackled, and more support around GDPR and responding to why Italy has banned this. All these sort of things have emerged, and a capable team willing to seemingly monitor feedback and then make necessary changes relatively quickly and proactively to then accomplish, I guess, vanquishing of these critiques. And now I'm not going to say that these changes and these things are going to stop all the criticism and skepticism of these systems. There's still lots of talk around where this data has been scraped, even if it's not being used to train the model. Where is that sitting? Can other people still access this? There are data concerns for leaks and things like that. But overall, at least seems that the company is moving in a direction towards trying to solve those critiques instead of actively ignoring. Now, there were a couple other things that came out with this announcement, which was actually titled New Ways to Manage Your Data in ChatGPT. Users can now turn off chat history, which then you can specify which conversations are used to train models. So it has a little nice diagram here where you can click those settings and then turn on the data controls, then turn off the chat history version. So that's a nice addition that's added here. And then lastly, super interesting, is an export option that makes it easier to export your ChatGPT data and understand what information ChatGPT stores. And we've seen this as an essential addition to function Facebook, Instagram, where data portability export options are meaningful and valuable and allow us to understand how these systems are storing, collecting our data, what they actually have, and what maybe we should be concerned about. Now, OpenAI, obviously a dominant company in this landscape, with this introduction to business, which seems like a natural progression continuing to close gaps, what I would think are companies working in this space who are trying to figure out how they differentiate. And I talked about this a little bit in the last video that I created, which, funny enough, another OpenAI video about a Zapier action that was created, which allowed you to do whisper transcription through Zapier. And in many cases, even with some of the work that I'm doing at Speak AI, you're constantly bombarded by competitive forces, no matter where you're in. But any company that's maybe doing speech recognition or transcription, and also maybe trying to help people who are not developers and data scientists who are trying to fundamentally hook up through APIs, then get the access to whisper transcription directly through the Zapier no-code integration. And that can be a disruptive force. And I'm guessing here we're going to see the same thing, where we've seen a lot of emergence around startups who are building some maybe containers for data that then can be connected with these systems. We're seeing people who are taking like website data, uploading it into embeddings using OpenAI or other embeddings technology, and then using that to be a differentiator amongst the current system because of character limitations and text limitations. We're already seeing some of these text limitations being come over with a new release to GPT-4 and 32K. And we're already seeing improvements on the file formats that Whisper can take, the file length limitation, the file size limitation. These are competitive wedges that companies are using right now. But as we monitor and see the pace and how quickly these companies, specifically OpenAI in this case, can close that gap, the question is, are these competitive differentiators going to stay there in the future? And the other signal that this release has sent to me is that OpenAI is to public forces that are being put on them. While there's still a ton of criticism around, hey, you started as a nonprofit, now you've gone to a profit-driven organization, and you've gone from relatively open source to now closed source. Overall, they are, again, listening to that feedback, trying to figure out ways to respond to it and iterate on their product and how they release things. And they're doing the same thing from a product development perspective with GPT. Hey, I can't upload a long enough text document or an article in. I'm hitting a limitation. Can you help me expand that limitation? And relatively quickly, they are doing that. When I look at this, and from the perspective of my channel, from the perspective of me, I'm constantly sort of monitoring these changes that are not just OpenAI. There's great innovation happening in so many places here, but I still think categorically OpenAI is having such a tremendous impact on all of them. And great companies like Anthropic and Cohere, they're all creating these parallel value propositions on fundamentally some of the same technology. Then these changes that are happening at such a rapid pace impact startups, businesses, organizations trying to figure out how to adopt this technology. And I really do believe we're going to see an entire economy emerge, which, if done right, if the organizations, startups and things like that become a solutions provider for organizations trying to embed it, that can be really valuable. But I think we're also going to see a lot of value, or supposed value, erased quickly and then over the next while, where organizations thought they maybe had a little bit more resilience, maybe a bigger differentiator. And then as these bigger companies with the budget, with the technical talent move forward, might realize that they don't have it. This seems to me another sign of that with ChatGPT Business. Again, not quite live yet, but will be coming seemingly soon. They say next coming months. So maybe not, the definition of soon is not fully there, but overall coming. We've obviously seen the plugin store, continued murmurs about GPT-5, which doesn't seem like they're, at least not publicly revealing that they're working on it, that they're actually focused on GPT-4 and enabling all the incredible things that are possible. As always, I've got some resources for you to check out. Some of these are hot, some of these are real fresh. And as always, I would love to hear if you have any feedback, any thoughts from whatever perspective you're in as you look at this technology, as you look at OpenAI, as you look at these releases, the exponential pace here. And appreciate, as always, you checking out these videos. If you liked it, you got some insight, do the comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. This has been Tyler Bryden, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.